Rock 99X, Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy backstage at the Roxy with one of my rock heroes, Robert Smith. Welcome back to Atlanta, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's good to see you. We had a long day on the tennis court. A lot of people, the suspense has been killing them. They wondered what happened.
Well, your version is that you won a very tight fifth set, but I'm disputing the final points.
Well, I think it was 7-6 in the fifth. And you English guys, I mean, you want to play 5 sets. I only wanted to play 3, but Robert's so in shape, he had me running around all day, but it was tight.
But be at peace knowing that disputing a final point with Barnes, you in a long line of people.
It's a long list. We were talking off mic, and last time I saw you guys, I missed the Lakewood show here, but I saw you in Texas at Texas Stadium, about 70,000, and now it's come back around to 1,000. Which do you prefer? Do you like this intimate thing or the big?
Well, I mean, they are two extremes. I prefer something kind of sitting in the middle. About anything between like 5 and 10,000, I think, is our optimum size audience. It's kind of big enough for us to be grand.
Do you get lost in the 70,000 thing? I mean, does it just get?
Yeah, it's been. I mean, we did stadiums on that tour, I think, in '92, and I did realise in the course of that tour that I don't think the Cure are a stadium kind of band. Really.
But you've gotten so big that this kind of show ends up making more people angry at people like us, and because you're playing.
That's why we do it.
Yeah, just to get people pissed at us. No, but it's almost like they think that we, say, okay, the Cure's going to play at the Roxy. But I mean, you guys wanted to do a small thing.
Yeah, we're coming back. I mean, we're just on the point of announcing an American tour that's in May and June. Where we're coming back and playing the
May 18th here in Atlanta. We just announced it today.
Civil-size venues.
I did read once an interview with you, and you said that actually you don't enjoy playing small clubs because there's not a lot of room on the stage, and it's tough to move around, though.
Well, I think there's two things about playing small clubs. One, people forget that for the first kind of 5 or 6 years, we were like, as with any other band who had no audience, who was struggling to be heard, we played small clubs endlessly, and a lot of the connotations of small clubs are bad for me because it's like half-full small clubs of people chucking pints of beer at me. They're not very fun memories. It's like the Cure didn't start off in Texas Stadium. We started off playing like the grungiest, most horrible venues. But on the plus side of it, though, I mean, because we don't have to play small venues, when we do, they actually become really like good fun. What I was referring to, that's lifted out of context, because I said it about a club show we did in Paris a while back, and they just jammed about 1,500 people into a venue that held 600, and it was just, I mean, I thought I was going to die. It was so hot.
Off air, you were telling us, you're talking about the show at Texas Stadium, 70,000 people, probably the largest crowd you've played to just specifically a Cure audience. But you had kind of a revelation you were telling us off air during that show.
Yes, my road to Dallas experience. It just dawned on me. I remember coming off from the encore and putting on the Emmett Smith jersey, trying to ingratiate myself further with the crowd. That it just didn't feel right. I don't know. It's very difficult to explain. I just
too much of a circus. I mean,
I just felt like I was completely disconnected from all that we were doing on stage, and I just didn't. I felt that we turned into like an event, and I never want what we do to be an event. I want people to actually get something, an emotional way from what we do, which you can't do in a crowd of 70,000 people. I mean, tonight, when you were saying earlier about like a lot of people are fed up because we're coming all this way and we're playing to a small amount of people. If we weren't coming back, they could be fed up. But it's just that if we were playing to more people, we'd end up playing our show. So we'd end up doing 2 American tours.
You wouldn't believe it. I mean, seriously, the emails, the phones, you would believe it, yet it's almost like I guess we're just the sound-off board. People just like let their frustration just exude onto us, and always shrug our shoulders and say, what do you do? I mean, if you were the person that had the ticket, you wouldn't be, pissed off at us, but it's the other fan, and then they're not real fans if they got the tickets whatever way they got them. And, you have so many fans, it's tough to please them all.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried hard to ensure that not too many scalpers get hold of tickets. There's been various systems in place to kind of make sure that they are fans. But, I mean, obviously there's going to be a few people there who might be the first time they've ever seen us. But when we come back, we'll make up for it. We'll play longer and bigger songs.
We're backstage at the Roxy talking to Robert Smith. Blood Flowers came out on Tuesday, and congratulations. I understand it's like way over 70,000 copies. When you put a record out, do you even think about things like sales or where it's going to debut or any of that?
Not with something like Blood Flowers, because I would not know where my expectations should lie, really. I mean, when we were making the record, I really wanted it to be an album that people would look back on in a few years' time. I wanted it to be like a testament to what we did, rather than something that's, I'm really pleased that it's kind of, it's like highest entry in the first week, blah blah blah. But it's more important to me like an album like Disintegration that we made 10 years ago that fans still think is a really good album, and I want people to think of Bloodflowers in that way in 10 years' time.
Early 90s, you're almost on the verge of happy. Now I'm talking about the music. And then it seems like in the Wild Mood Swings, you're like so happy you could almost burst. But now you've kind of come to it's almost a stage with Bloodflowers that you're just kind of mellowed out.
Well, I think Bloodflowers was designed, it was designed, so not really the right word. As we were making it, it was intended to be the last Cure album. And it has a very strong sense of like nostalgia, and I was hoping to get some kind of resolution into the record.
Kind of reflecting back over the years.
Yeah, and just like the kind of the change that's taken place within me and within the band. And so just due to that, like how I was writing it, that kind of self-awareness, I suppose, wallowing, some people would say, it lent itself to a more kind of reflective project. Whereas Wild Mood Swings was just kind of made on the fly. I mean, I had no idea what we were doing.
Is this it? Is this the final Cure album?
Well, I'd like it to be.
Really? You just want to close the book and that's it?
I think it's, there's no one else has kind of done that, really. Well, very few people have done that, just kind of finished on a high. And I would really like to have fond memories of what I've done with the band, rather than just like drag it out.
Isn't it tough to walk away and easy to say at the beginning of a tour, but maybe, come November or whenever it is?
I usually say at the end. I usually say at the end of a tour, because
I'm saying, but now going through the tour, maybe you'll change your mind.
No, I think that there's a sense of finality within the band that this year is kind of like, this is it. And it will lend a certain piquancy to the performances and stuff. It just makes the whole thing, so that everyone's got to remember how good it can be.
Robert,
that's the whole point of it.
You've been doing this over 20 years, and unlike a lot of bands, your fans have kind of grown up with you and have matured with you and your music. But unlike a lot of bands, you keep getting newer fans and fans who are, teenagers and stuff. And you look out over the crowd and maybe see somebody 17, 18 years old, how the age you were when you started. Do you ever feel maybe disconnected from their experience now because there's such an age gap between you and those fans?
No, not really, because the distance I would feel from our audience is probably one of, not to do with age, it would be to do with my circumstances, the fact that I do what I do and I've been successful at it. I don't have to work, I don't have to worry about the things that most people worry about in their normal lives. But the songs that we do connect with people on a kind of like the deeper level than that. They don't deal with like the everyday, they're to do with like universal feelings and emotions. So I think that it's to do with like the sensibility of people who get into the Cure. I don't think it's really to do with age. I mean, when I was young, I liked people who were old. Most people who were making music were older than me, and I liked some of them I thought were good, and others I didn't like. And now I'm older. There's fewer people who are older than me doing this. But,
like the stuff that you sang about as a teen and as somebody in the early 20s, things that you didn't understand about life, you now understand. You now have a lot of those things.
Hell, I do.
Robert, we have some listeners that want a chance to be the private sound check, and a couple of them are back here would like to ask you a question. Hey, what's your name?
Lenny Murphy.
Hello, Lenny.
What do you consider to be the best Cure album?
What, without being cheesy and saying Bloodflowers? My Pornography and Disintegration are the two records that I used as like touchstones when we were making Bloodflowers. I suggested to the others that if we could make an album that was as good as those, then we would have succeeded. So they're probably pretty much they're my two favourites.
Excellent. Hey, who?
Hi, I'm Jamie Bull. Where's your favorite place you've ever been through all your travels?
My bed, I think. At the moment. Paris probably is just because it was one of the first places that the Cure ever went to, where we had a genuinely warm reception, and I know a lot of people there. So when I go there, I know I'm going to have a good time. And obviously, Atlanta runs close second.
Is that why you wanted to put the album out, Paris? I mean, is that why you wanted the stuff from there?
We went. I mean, we could have really done it from anywhere, because essentially there's a hardcore kind of Cure audience pretty much for any big city that we go to. But Paris is just like, I hold, my memory of it the first time we went there, it was the first time I thought, people really like what we're doing. And it made me feel very good. So I had a sort of an affinity with the French.
You have the good fortune of having your hardcore, diehard fans like these guys back here who could probably name, cut 8 off of every album, cut 9, what's the hidden track? I mean, you know what I'm saying? And then you have so many hits. I mean, you have and they're a different group of people that are kind of Cure on the surface, but know all the hits.
Well, it's one of the strange things about the group is that the general media and the general public actually know the group for the videos and the pop singles.
Right.
This is just a kind of weird pop band, and yet the more music-based media, or people who are into music more, think of the Cure as this kind of like more gloom and doom band. And it's weird, like the hardcore audience often like really gets frustrated at the fact that we occasionally do pop singles.
Yeah, I love all of it though.
But for me, it's just like it reflects two parts of what I'm like. It's like I think that I would have reduced what the Cure means to me if I'd like just tried to be really hardcore the whole time.
But it's a mood thing too. I mean, there are times when I want to slap on pornography or I want to put on Wish.
Yeah, I think though that I've accepted now with Blood Flowers that the Cure do make a particular type of music better than another time. I don't think we're a very good jazz band, and I think we are a better sad band than a happy band.
There's a Cure for all moods.
We're backstage at the Roxy with Robert Smith. What's your name?
Christina Hart.
Hello.
Hello. Can we expect to hear any B-sides on the Dream Tour?
Yeah, I think we've been running a competition on the website for people to suggest songs that we haven't played for a long time, sort of like rarities and stuff. But we kind of miscalculated how many people would respond, and then we got about 6,000 emails in the first 2 days. So, but we closed the competition 48 hours after it started, and we're sifting through. And there are some really strong like people keep saying the same song titles over and over. So there will be at least 2 B-sides on the next tour.
Jim Brogdon. Do you have any future plans for another internet-only release like Five Swing Live?
There'll probably be quite a bit of stuff from the Dream Tour, either like streaming or downloadable stuff, because now we've got we're not currently under contract with anyone around the world, so we can really do what we want on the website. So it's the first time ever that I won't have to phone up lawyers and say, do you mind if we do this? Do you mind if we do that? So there will be a lot of stuff on our website coming up through the summer.
Do you have any favorite versions, some covers that other artists have done of Cure songs?
There's been quite a spate of cover albums in the last sort of 18 months. My favourite one, I think, is the one that came out in Miami, actually, the sort of Latino. I don't know if you've heard it.
No, I haven't heard it.
It's Latino Cure. It's fantastic.
Which song?
Just a whole range of different songs, different artists covering different songs.
Any particular versions of individual songs that you really like?
I think I can't remember her name, but someone's singing If Only Tonight We Could Sleep, which is like an old Kiss Me song, and it's really fantastic. They're much better than I do. It's really impassioned. Kind of
What music are you listening to?
Modern music, contemporary music. I like favourite band at the moment, probably Mogwai, who are a Scottish band, who are just like they're kind of like a bit of a noise band, but they've got some really fantastic textured guitar sounds. I think they write really good songs. And I like the Death in Vegas album. I thought it was good recently, the Continuing Sessions.
Did you hear you heard about the George Harrison incident, right? Where the fan, has anything that crazy ever happened to you? Because you have fanatic fans. Has anyone ever gone over the edge where you've just like been, whoa?
I'm kind of lucky because with my personality, I don't phase very easily. So often things will happen and I don't react, and that actually stops people doing anything because they think, no, he's an alien. No, I mean, unfortunately, it's the one part of what I do. I mean, I try to lead a very private home life, and then quite a few people have found out where I live, and they kind of camp out and they drive and stuff. And sometimes that gets a bit much because...
What do they do, park outside and wave?
They just light fires and play Cure music all night.
Well, it's got to be not real hard for you to travel unnoticed. I mean, because...
No, I don't mind at all. When I'm doing this, when I'm out and about and I'm with the Cure, I expect anything to happen to me. I never expect a moment's peace. When I get any peace, I relish it. But I don't kind of moan about it because it's what I do. It's just that when I'm at home, people forget that I'm with, my wife is not a famous person. She doesn't want to be. And people forget that I live there with her. I think that's the thing that gets to me.
I mean, because when we see you in concert, you look like Robert Smith that we know and see, but I'm guessing when you want to go out for dinner, you can tone it down a little bit and dress a little.
Really though, because I don't
really.
I don't see the point. It's
But that's him. I mean,
yeah, I don't look any different when I go shopping
Really?
if I'm out in the car than when I'm going on stage. I mean, I tried very hard to be smart today. I wore my suit, but
You look very sharp.
yeah, thank you very much.
we know you have to get into sound check. A lot of fans who couldn't get in are going to be fortunate enough to hear it tonight live on 99X. And we appreciate your time. We know you're busy, and thanks for coming on. It's a very special day for Cure fans in Atlanta. We really appreciate
and
everything.
We'll see the ones that couldn't get in. We'll see them later on as we see.
Well, the ones that can't, they can hear it. And then May 18th
Yeah,
at
the
Lakewood.
car park apparently at the Los Angeles show is one of the best places in the house. So it's
Thank you, Robert. Robert Smith.
Thank you.
Backstage at the Roxy, this is 99X.